Good day. Happy Sunday to you. I hope you're having a fantastic day, whatever you're up to. It's the 3rd of November, 2024. For those of you who don't know, my name's Adam Holmes. I'm a songwriter from Edinburgh, Scotland. I've made 7 albums. I've built 300,000 followers on all my platforms, and I've had music pitched in TV and film, and I've done thousands of concerts. And every Sunday, I sit and chat for a bit about what I've been up to, what I'm going to do, and share some tips and some experience that hopefully can help you on your creative journey, on your artistic journey. So I had a show last night. I was playing in North Berwick. That was a lot of fun. Had a real good time. I was doing a whole new set, which is always a kind of challenge. It's hard to let go of something that's worked. And I had this other set that had really worked out over a long time. It was feeling really, really good. And it's really tough when you've kind of got these weapons in a way of these songs and the bits of chat and the kind of groove of the gig. And then it's tough to let go of that and move into developing something new. It's a constant theme of my life because whenever I'm making a new record or working on a new book or coaching a new client or any of the things that I do in my work, the thing I constantly come up against is how difficult change is for our brains. We find change incredibly hard, and we just want to stay in the same groove of things which work. But that's not how you create a new result that you want in your life. And so for me, right now, another example is I want to build a lot more Spotify followers. I had a really great meeting with a guy who is going to help me do that, and he's going to help me do that by changing certain things that I'm doing on my social media. And he did say, "You're doing a great job on the social media. It looks great. These are the little changes that I would make." And again, that'll be yet another example of an area where I've found something that works. And when you find something that works in life, it can be really tricky then to let go of the thing that works in the pursuit of something new and the pursuit of something exciting that you feel you want to move towards. The price of getting to the new place is letting go of the place you're in. And I think so many of us feel that we would happily give up something negative in order to create something positive, but it's not as simple as that, because we're dealing with these lumps of grey matter which just want to be kept safe. And so actually change for all of us is a very challenging thing. This week I was coaching a friend on some social media stuff. I coach various people on growing their social media, and we were talking about this, and it leads me on to what I want to talk about today, which is changing the quality of your question. So the most common question I get asked when I'm coaching people on social media is, how many times should I post a day? Now, I'm going to talk about this in the context of social media, but this applies to anything. This applies to anything in your life that you want to get good at, be that writing books or being a songwriter, making films, public speaking, social media, whatever. This mindset shift will help you with any of those things. So, as I say, the most common question I get asked when I'm helping people with their social media is, how many times should I post a day? And what it reminded me of is when I worked on the building site. I worked in construction many years ago, 13 years ago now, and I worked in construction, and I remember one day there was a younger guy started with us who was maybe 16, 17, and he showed up to the building site and he's working for a while, and he said, "When's lunch?" And my boss turned to me and said, "He's not going to make it. I guarantee you, he won't." And surely enough, a month later, he left the building site and he went and he got an office job because he couldn't handle it was real cold in the winter, and it was hard work and it was heavy work, and it's not work for the faint of heart. It's hard work. And so his asking when is lunchtime indicated where his values were, where his priorities were. Similarly, someone asking how many times should I post a day indicates to me where their values are. So I think a better question is, what am I willing to do if I'm committed to getting this result? So for me, just in terms of growing the social media, I knew that I had to just do a lot of it. So in some ways, yeah, posting 3 times a day is good, but it's not good because of posting 3 times a day because you're tricking the algorithm or some secret trick, right? It's good because you're just getting the volume in. And getting the volume in means that you get better. So when you make that shift from what's the minimum I can do to how can I do enough of this? What's the amount I need to do that's enough of this to get good enough to be creating consistent results is a very different question. So when I was advising my friend the other day, I said to her, when social media opened for me is when I said, I'm going to commit to 4 hours a day doing social media. Now, most people who are artists, who are musicians, look at social media as this real evil, bad, negative thing. And they talk about it in a way that indicates to me that they're not going to do well in it. And a lot of it is about cleaning up the attitude around it. You'd never expect to become a really good oil painter by saying, what's the minimum amount of oil painting that I could do and become amazing at it? You'd never think that. You'd never think, how can I become, if I do 4 minutes a day on the Spanish guitar, can I become excellent at it? Of course not. It takes time. It just takes hours. And so many of us are looking at social media as this thing that we have to do in order to do the thing that we want to do, rather than looking at it as a place where you can actually develop skill sets. I think the main skill set which doing social media consistently has helped me to develop is storytelling, learning how to tell a compelling story, be that in text or speaking to camera like this, or photography, learning how to visually frame things. But the biggest skill of all that's taught me is sometimes in life you just have to do a lot of work on things that you don't really enjoy, because it then brings you good results in your life. And for me as a musician, I guess I hadn't really worked on anything like that. I know that's probably quite unusual. I think there's lots of people who are able to apply themselves and actually work quite hard on things that they don't find that interesting because they know it's what needs to be done. This said, I guess I'm more speaking to the artists right now. I think there's something in artists which they feel that they shouldn't have to do stuff that they don't want to do. And I think it's a real misconception around art. And I think if you want to have a successful business and reach a lot of people and have that result of having a lot of followers, why do you want to have a lot of followers? You want to have a lot of followers because it's more attention on your art, it's more connections, it's more cool people, it's more opportunity. And at the end of the day, it's all people. We talk about the algorithm, we talk about, hashtags and whatnot, but at the end of the day, we're reaching people with beating hearts. We're reaching other human beings. So actually the skill you need to learn is just putting the hours in. That's the skill you really need, because if you're not doing that, if you're not looking at anything that you really want to do, be that social media or be that learning a skill like playing the guitar or learning how to publicly speak, you need to ask yourself, is it reasonable for me to expect to be good at this thing when I've only done a bit of it? Is it reasonable for me to expect to have loads of muscle if I work out once a month? Is it reasonable for me to expect to have 200,000 followers if I post once a week and I'm not in the market, so to speak? I'm not actually watching what other people are doing and getting the flavor of it and working on it. It's like anything. It's like anything. If you want the result, you have to just put the hours in. And social media is no different. So I thought it was an interesting point raised between us in this recent conversation, and I thought it'd be a good topic to share today for the Sunday catch-up, and one which hopefully you can apply not just to social media but across the board. If you enjoy content like this, And if you appreciate me putting myself out there consistently on social media and making my albums and being an example and giving you the gift of the music, and hopefully also the gift of me being a working artist and showing you the behind the scenes, I'd really appreciate if you consider joining my Patreon. I've made the lowest tier $1.50 a month, and there's people in there paying $10, $20, $50 even, but I wanted to make the lowest amount $1.50 because I figured it's an amount that most of us in the Western world anyway can contribute if we think something is meaningful and worthwhile. And so I'm doing my best to work hard every day and make good content. Obviously, I'm making my albums, I'm coaching people, and I want to make this kind of content for you to help in that way too. And if you appreciate that and you want to support my mission, join my Patreon. That'd be a big help. Spotify pay me nothing. Apple Music pay me nothing, relatively speaking, at 0.004 pence per stream. I believe the future is more things like Patreon, things like artists connecting to their fans, building communities and working one-on-one. I'm all about that. Cut out the middleman. So if you want to join us in there, currently there's 260 of us in there. We have a WhatsApp group. There's hours and hours and hours of content in there. And it's a great way of staying up to date with all the things that I'm doing. So consider clicking the link in the description, or you can send me a message saying club and I'll send you a link. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys are having a great week and have a fantastic week ahead. Go easy. Chat soon.